Every time something strange occurs, they want us to believe that it's just a coincidence. An unexpected occurrence of events can be a concurrence of events can be strangely providential. Scholars don't agree on that cause, though. Michael Snyder, guest writer, reports on Collective Spark. You're not supposed to be an independent thinker, and you are definitely not supposed to come to your own conclusions when the corporate media decides that something really weird, a weird event that has just happened, is just a coincidence. You're supposed to go along with it without asking any questions. In fact, if you do decide to challenge the dominant narrative on a particular issue, there's a very good chance that you will be labeled a conspiracy theorist, and you certainly won't want that, would you? Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Over the past year, literally dozens of food production facilities in the United States have mysteriously burned to the ground, and now there has been another very strange fire. Hillendale Farms is one of the leading egg producers in the entire country, and an extremely unusual fire that suddenly erupted at their farm in Bosra, Connecticut on Saturday afternoon killed approximately 100,000 chickens. The 3-alarm blaze at Bosra, Connecticut-based egg farm required more than 100 firefighters from at least 16 nearby firehouses to extinguish the fire. According to WTIC-TV, authorities said the fire, which plagued a 50 by 600 chicken coop at Hillendale Farms on Schwartz Road, took 4.5 hours to extinguish and resulted in the death of an estimated 100,000 chickens. Just like so many other mysterious fires that have erupted at food production facilities in recent months, this fire grew to an absolutely monstrous size before anyone even realized what was happening. Could it be possible that someone started this fire on purpose to make our national egg shortage even worse? Of course, we aren't even supposed to consider such a question. We're being told that there is absolutely no connection between the dozens of fires that we have been witnessing, and that is just a coincidence that there has been a gigantic fire at one of our most important egg producers at a time when egg prices have already soared to absurd heights. Neil Bymouth tweets, Hillendale Farms in Connecticut, the largest supplier of chicken eggs, caught fire this weekend, leaving an estimated 100,000 hens dead, all coincidentally during an egg shortage. Move along now, nothing to see here, he tweets. Elsewhere, the Paul Pelosi body cam video has finally been made available to the public, and it certainly got a lot of people talking. But once again, we're being told that it was just a coincidence that Pelosi did not have wasn't wearing proper clothes when police came to the door. Even though all of the evidence suggests otherwise, we're being told there is nothing strange to this story at all. And when we're being told that anyone that does not go along with it, that narrative is just spreading misinformation. In this day and age, we are simply not allowed to have our own opinions about any important story. So we are definitely not allowed to have any opinion about the dramatic increase in heart attacks among young, healthy people over the past few years. Researchers discovered that overall heart attacks increased for all age groups since the onset of the pandemic by 14%. By the second year of the pandemic, 2022, heart attacks for the 45 to 64 age groups increased 19.6%, and for the 65 and older group it had increased by 13.7%. However, it was the youngest age group of 25 to 44 that had the highest increase of nearly 30%. Nothing strange going on there. Everything is perfectly normal. We are not supposed to even try to break out of the mental cages that the elite have worked so hard to carefully construct for us. But the truth is that many of the conspiracy theories that we have been trained to disregard have ultimately been proven to be quite accurate. For instance, one of the most important officials in former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson's administration just publicly admitted that the deep state is real. The deep state is real, according to Dominique Cummings, former Prime Minister Boris Johnson's ex-chief advisor. In an interview with the Manifold podcast last week, Cummings said the so-called deep state, a moniker for the unelected bureaucracy, wields far more power than the elected politicians, he said. But in his view, it's often very good, sensible, intelligent, and experienced officials trying to stop the idiots who are being elected doing terrible things. A lot of the things that were best in COVID was the deep state thwarting then Health Secretary Matt Hancock, the elected politician for the benefit of the country. Cummings declared, "Of course, the deep state is real. Everyone can see that." But the mainstream media will continue to insist that it's just a fairy tale for the misinformed. And there really are very evil corporations that are doing very evil things that should not be done. Now, when these very evil corporations have planned for our future is extremely alarming, what they've planned. That the mainstream media assures us that these giant corporations are run by a bunch of do-gooders and are just watching out for all of our best interests, and that is especially true for the big pharmaceutical companies. Our major news outlets never run any negative stories about the big pharmaceutical companies, and I'm sure that that has nothing to do with the billions upon billions of dollars in advertising revenue that the major news outlets are raking in from those big pharmaceutical companies. Once upon a time, our nation was a beacon of light for the rest of the world, but now we have rejected the values that were once the foundation of our society, and we are even putting up bizarre monuments that openly celebrate what we have become. For example, P.G. Keenan tweets, "We are descending into ancient Sumerian deity territory. We don't know. We are summoning demons." The new statue atop New York City courthouse, the artist says it's part of an urgent, necessary cultural reckoning underway as New York reconsiders traditional representations of power in public spaces and recast civic structures to better reflect 21st century social mores. Now, our society is being transformed at a pace that is absolutely frightening, but we are not supposed to understand what's happening. We're just supposed to allow the elite to do whatever they want without asking any difficult questions. Yes, sometimes things happen that don't seem to have a rational explanation. But most of the time, things are the way they are because they have been carefully manipulated to be that way. Don't let anyone else do your thinking for you. We have all been trained not to think for ourselves, and so learning to think for yourself is one of the first steps towards true freedom. But if you do insist on thinking for yourself, you'll become a target because the elite don't like anyone that attempts to break free from the matrix. It's finally here. Michael Snyder's new book entitled End Time, now available in paperback and for Kindle on Amazon. About the author, my name is Michael Snyder. Michael is his name. My brand new book titled End Times, now available on Amazon. In addition to my new book, I've written 6 other books that are available on Amazon, including 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future of America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters. When you purchase any of these books, you help to support the work that I'm doing. And one way that you can really help is by sending copies as gifts to family and friends. Time is short, and I need help getting these warnings into the hands of as many people as possible. I've published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, and the Most Important News. And the articles that I publish on those sites are republished on dozens of other prominent websites all over the globe. I always freely and happily allow others to republish my articles on their own websites, but I also ask that they include this about the author section with each article. The material contained in this article is for general information purposes only, and readers should consult licensed professionals before making any legal, business, and financial or health decisions. I encourage you to follow me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, and any way that you can share these articles with others is definitely a great help. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world, which he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, I strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. And this is by Michael Snyder on Collective Spark. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box